Now that could have been bad. That could have been very bad. But never mind, at least we discovered it before we cut it. Okay, after having some lunch, thanks to my lovely wife, I have now laid a sheet of paper along here, which is going to be my template for cutting out the ply, because the area this side of the line is actually higher than the floor inside, so we need to cut along this line and then along this line here, which is also higher, and then just around the bracket, because the bracket's going to go right down to the floor. So and I've marked this top, and these circles here are for the high screws that are sticking out above the height of the floor. So what I'll do is hole saw these out so that the ply can go down flat, and then I'll reinstate some silicone filler in there, so just to keep it nice and flat. So now it's a matter of just transposing this onto the ply. What I'm also doing is, if you notice this line here, I'm going to leave that bit hanging off the side, because when I put it on the ply I can then fold that around, tape it down, and then pull this all nice and straight. So I'll get on to that next. Another thing I've got to mention, I also just spot tape the sheet down so it can't wiggle around while I'm working on it. As I mentioned, this line here, which is what I'm going to fold around on the actual ply, I've actually got two straight edges I can work from. One is that, also this here, because the ply is going to come right up to this part here, so this will be a straight edge I can guide on the ply sheet, and also to see if it marries up with this. So if you imagine the sheet of ply coming down, make sure this lines up here, and make sure that line there lines up. If I got those two in the right place, then I can cut this out, but I'm not going to cut it out until I've actually transposed this onto the ply. I have got the paper onto the board here, and there's a few datum lines I can use. One is the straight edge here, which was the straight edge, if I can show you inside, this straight edge along here. So we know that we've got that as a datum line. We know also we've got this little bit of straight edge here, which is a bit going out the door, which is straight, which is fine. Now if I want to double check, I can always go from the end of the board up to where my paper is here, take a measurement, and then test on that side up to the board here. If they work out the same, we're sweet. And it does. We've got I've got 905 millimeters each side, so now I know that this line here is straight, that line there is straight, and that line there is straight. So as long as all those are straight, and then I can just mark out this and this piece over here. I'll just make a little spot mark where these are, just in case these have moved, but we'll come to that later. First I want to do is these, so I can lay the board down and see how it looks. Now I just noticed one big mistake that I was about to make, and it was a huge one. This is the short edge, which this side here should be up against the back seats. It wasn't until when I was marking out here, and I was thinking, well, here's a mark out for the back seat bracket. Why is it sticking out over there? And then I realised I had this whole board the wrong way around. Now what I'm saying about this piece here is, I'll just show you over here. the cutout is supposed to go where this thing is. It's supposed to cut around there, and well, it didn't. So yeah, it's just as well I discovered that. So we're going to have to take that off and redraw all this up again. Now that could have been bad. That could have been very bad. But never mind, at least we discovered it before we cut it. So I'll take it off and I'll relay what I've cut out on that bit of paper now that I've cut it out onto the Kombi floor and see how it looks. So in actual fact I've actually gained one process, so we'll do that now. I'll show you what I mean. Right, here it is with the cutouts in, and remember I've got this as my straight edge. I've got that side as my straight edge, and I can sort of run off the ribs on the back here to see if it's sitting straight, which it appears to be. So I'm just having a look, and I'm quite happy with the way that these are sitting. Could do a little bit more on this bit. Goes up to there good, and the only bit was that, which is really weird. So I've made a little mark to make sure with the arrow I go back to where this part is up here from that line, just carry it on. And of course there's the circles where the heads of those bolts are, so I can feel it. One's right there, which is good. One's right there, which is good. The other one's right there, and that one, it seems to move the most, but I'm quite happy with the way they are. What I'm going to do before I actually cut those out, when I lay the ply down, I'm actually going to put something on top of each of those bolts and then press the ply down onto it and then tip the ply out, and you'll see the marks, and that'll be where I do my cutouts. So with that being as it is, I think we can now go and put it the right way on that sheet that I've got and start cutting it out, which will be good. Instead of cutting it up along there, it needs to be cut along there. So boy, that was a close call. Yeah, all painted and all nicely cleaned out. Excuse all the stuff there, but so this has all been done. I've still got to bolt down the bolts on these fellows that come out here. And the next thing, oh that's right, I had to repair this section down here, which I've done. It's all primed, so I'm going to top coat that. And I've also managed to get rid of all the glue, and well, the best I could, off this back seat area here. So that's all done now. So now I need to top coat it, because I want to do all these jobs before I put the floor down, because I don't want to get paint and glue and cleaning stuff all on the new floor when it goes down. So I'm going to tackle these now, do this one, and then I'm going to get this one done as well. So here we go. Now that the floor is down, what I'm doing is giving it a coat with Metalex. That just waterproofs the membrane a bit more, and you mix it 2 to 3 bit of mineral tips in a container and just brush it on. It goes a long way, so you don't have to worry too much about it. So I'm on a bit of a race against time. Okay, now the floor's been coated with that Metalex. I'll just leave it to dry. I've also I fixed up this corner and put a bit of primer in there, and I've managed to get most of the glue off the back of this. That's been primed as well. Both ready for top coats. So we'll let everything dry and we'll come back and attend to this. Rightio, so here's all the areas painted. I couldn't show you me actually doing the job because for some reason I've lost all my gimbals and tripods and everything, and there's the, I'll back off of it, and there's the other side of the back of that seat, and it's now all done. So very pleased with that. So just making sure I've got enough paint on there. Yeah, that looks really good. I'm satisfied with that. So now I've got to let them dry, and once all dry and everything's all done, I will be able to lay the floor, which I'm hoping to do tomorrow. So that can dry overnight, and we'll see you in the morning. The next morning. Okay, for the flooring, what I've done is I've used 9mm ply, and then I've coated it with a product called Metalex. Allow that to dry, and Metalex, you mix it with mineral terps and allow it to dry, because the timber really loves it. It soaks right in without swelling up the timber. It's really fantastic, makes it all waterproof. Then once that's dry, I've put these floorboards in, the laminated floorboards. They're a 6mm board, rubber backing, and you can get these in different styles. You put them up on an angle and then lay them back down, and they just click into place. These are what they call a click assemble, no gluing required. You can get them where they'll go in and you can glue them down as well. So there's several different ways. I'll just see if I can find the packet here. Here it is. So that's the product. Rubber laminated flooring, and that's it there. So I have I bought 2 packets. One of them was a second, because it had little chips missing out of it and a couple of planks. So I bought that packet plus a full pack. Now I think the full pack was going to cost me around about $150, maybe even more. But the one that had the 2 split panels in only cost me $74. So I'll put the chip ones way over there, which are going to be underneath the cabinet, so you're not going to see them anyway. So that leaves all the good ones here. So all I've got to do now is I've got to scribe this one out. If I can get in here, I'll just come to the end. Now you can see there's a chip out of that one, which I'm going to scribe out for that corner piece, and same on that side. So they're going to be hidden anyway, so that's really good. So there you go. That's about it. Don't forget, if you like what we're doing here, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you probably in about a week's time, and you'll see all the progress hopefully I'm going to make on the interior of this Kombi. Catch you then. Bye bye.